Hi guys, welcome to another movie crew review. Today we'll be reviewing Novocaine, No Pain.
The movie stars Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, and Ray Nicholson.
So Nathan Caine suffers daily from CIPA, this condition that means that he can't feel pain. As we see his daily struggles, he falls in love with a girl that he works with, and as she's kidnapped in a robbery, he has to put aside his fears and go after these robbers to save the girl that he loves. So we're going to start off the review, and Moon is going to start us off today.
Alrighty, so Novocaine. So from the trailers, I thought like he would be like Wolverine for some reason. Like he wouldn't feel pain, but he might regenerate because in the trailers we can see like he's getting chopped up, and I was like, how is he gonna survive from this? And I think the movie, the concept alone, like John explained, is pretty good because he's just another guy. He's just a random dude, and he's a gamer, so he's a nerd. So he got this, I would say, just abilities, and the way they sort of included like what happens when he meets the girl and girls that get kidnapped or whatever, and the way they played it out was pretty well done. I think the movie's sort of outstayed its welcome. I think like last 20 minutes, I thought the movie had ended once. Then I said ended again, but it didn't end. So it felt a bit longish, just the last, I would say, 20 minutes or so. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie, and it's refreshing to see something different. It reminded me sort of Guns Akimbo, like just because a different concept. So a good watch. John?
Yeah, I thought this was a fun ride. That's what it felt like watching this film. I was interested in the Nathan character. This way he's written, he's that kind of plain everyman, and then he comes into his own throughout the film. I did like the montage at the start when you see him go through his day and the more struggle side of his condition. You can see like he doesn't eat solid food, so he's always drinking everything to get sustenance, and all the tennis balls around the places he works and lives so he doesn't accidentally hit into a corner or accidentally impale himself. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the concept of the actual, he can't feel pain, so that's like his both downfall and his superpower as such. So yeah, it was fantastic. The action was really good. I think all the scenes felt natural. The progression of how he finally found somebody that understands his struggles, and then the lengths that he goes to actually try and save her, and the way that plays out, the natural way that they have like fight scenes. There was one in a kitchen, and you could see he's obviously not trained in fighting or anything like that, so he's just throwing everything that's at hand. He shoots the guy, and he's sick after it because it's just something that he's not particularly, akin to. So, yeah, I think that pretty much the first part of the film was fantastic. It's a bit slapsticky in terms of the house that he goes to in the later part where like every single booby trap's going off. It's kind of, you're verging on like Three Stooges kind of things there, but it does take a nice turn at the end, and I did enjoy the ending, to be honest with you. I think that it wrapped everything up quite nicely. It gives you a story, and everything that happens feels, at least to me, somewhat real, especially with how Nathan ends up after all these events and pain and injuries. Even though he doesn't feel it, you could see it does take a toll at the end. I think that the Sherry character, the love interest, was also quite good. I think that she had a great dynamic with Jack Quaid's character, and without it, I don't think that the love story would have been able to develop so quick that you would actually believe what was happening. And they spent a good amount of time on it for the runtime of the film, that they didn't overdo it, but it gives you enough of the idea. So, yeah. And finally, the cops. I think they're understated in the film. You've got good comedy coming from them. They're helping him out. And yeah, I think that overall, this was a really good action comedy for me. Cameron?
Yeah, for me, the standout was the realistic aspect from this movie. The concept, like the boys have said, was just great, and they really stuck true to it. Nothing felt really too over the top. I mean, the concept itself is obviously over the top, but the action, they kept it grounded. He didn't learn to fight quickly. It was just sort of self-defense and natural, and just how he reacts to the situations. I thought was really well done. The start for me, I really enjoyed how they elaborate on his condition, and like John said, how he has to be extra careful, extra vigilant, because he doesn't know what pain is, so he can't feel anything. So if something does happen to him, he's not going to know unless he looks at it. So that was great. I think the love interest, Sherry, she was great. She kept me interested in the story, and how they written her character took me by surprise. I thought it wasn't as cut and dry as I thought it would be, and the twists and turns it sort of little bit takes was really good. And yeah, I think it kept it basic but funny and just a fun time.
In my head, when the twist happened, I was so expecting it to happen because I saw it in another movie, like it was a heist movie. I can't remember the name. And I thought if it doesn't happen, I'll be more surprised. So it did happen, and I was like, okay, it sort of makes sense because how the movie plays out at the end. And the comedy was pretty good, especially like you can't feel the pain, so they're making that comedic, so pretty well done.
Yeah, I liked Roscoe, one character we haven't touched on yet.
Oh yeah.
The sidekick to Spider-Man, I guess, if you're into the more commercial side of his work. But I think that the way he portrays himself over computer and then the way that he turns up is quite funny. Even Jack Quaid's way that he's saving him from a certain situation, he's more focused on like, I thought you said you look like Jason Momoa kind of thing. He's quite funny, and even like it would something that I would personally like think of is like the whole time he's like, I'll help you out, but you got to explain it to the cops so I don't get in trouble. Like, it's fantastic writing on the writer's part in terms of things like that. But yeah,
He looks like The Rock.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking that
like,
the
wow,
same.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I thought the effects, they were really well done, especially with all like the graphic nature of like he breaks his thumb and then other shit is happening. I thought it was really well done. And just like how he's gluing his arm together because he gets shot. That little stuff there was just really well done, and I really appreciated it.
To bounce off that, I liked when he uses the EpiPen for the adrenaline.
Yeah.
I really liked, it kind of reminds me of Pulp Fiction when Uma Thurman,
Yeah.
they give her the
Yeah.
adrenaline to the heart. It's done in a really like subtle, but you know what's happening way. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But yeah, I don't think there was one thing that I saw in that whole film that didn't look good. There was not one bad effect, in my opinion. Even there's one scene, it's not going to really ruin anything, but the bone sticking out, and that looks fantastic.
very-
How
yeah,
the
that looks
arms
good.
hanging, and it looks really good. Even the pulling of the fingernails out.
Yeah.
You look at it and you think, oh, geez, however they did it is just fantastic.
Yeah. That whole torture scene I was pretty much laughing throughout because he's just putting on this effect that he's getting through pain, but it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Alright guys, we're going to give our scores.
Yep.
Moon, how many Novocaines out of 10?
I guess 7.5 Novocaines out of 10.
John?
I'll give it 9 Novocaines out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it 8 Novocaines out of 10. Alright guys, make sure to like, check out our socials, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.